everyone, Scarlet Everose here, back with another solo spotlight where morality breaks, power tempts, and the line between justice and madness blur. Today we're diving deep into the one and only Light Yagami from Death Note, the face of perfection, the heart of an ambitious, and the mind of a self-proclaimed quote-unquote God. This isn't a love letter or a hate rant, it's a reckoning. Because whether you worship him, fear him, or want to slap him with a notebook, aka me, Light is one of the most iconic anti-heroes in anime history. Let's get into the brilliance and the downfall of the boy who wanted to rule the world. Before we get into the chaos, huge love to all of you who voted on my poll. I had a feeling y'all would pick Light, and here we are. When I was doing the poll, I knew Light was going to get picked, which I don't mind. I really don't mind. I've already done a video on him and one of my other favorite characters. It's on episode 4, Light, versus L, and it'll be on the right side of your title card. The right side of the screen, Sorry about that. The DMs, the comments, and the passion. It's real and I feel it. And to be totally honest, I have a love-hate relationship with this character. He killed one of my favorite anime characters, you know who, which I just talked about. And I will never forgive him for that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But also, I couldn't stop watching. I had to know if he actually win. Spoiler alert, Cupid is a hell of a thing. Alright, let's get right into it. Yeah, I really want to thank you all before we actually get into it. I really want to thank you all for, every single day, just making my videos just, get seen by people that love Death Note, that love Hunter x Hunter, love all these animes that I am so fascinated with and just love to talk about. And you guys really make it happen, and that really touches my heart in a huge way, and I really want to say thank you to that. Alright, let's actually get into it. Segment 1. Origin, Perfection, and the Birth of Kira. Light Yagami starts as the golden boy, top of his class, perfect son, model citizen, but that's exactly what makes his descent so terrifying. When the Death Note falls into his lap, it doesn't corrupt him, it unmasks him. We'll explore how Light's upbringing, intelligence, and disgust with the world shaped his idea of quote-unquote justice. He doesn't see himself as evil. He sees himself as a evolution, and that's the scary part. So basically, Light at first is this really young boy in high school in Tokyo, and he's like I just said, he's a perfect student. He gets perfect grades every time he goes to school, and everybody loves him. Everybody, really loves this guy. And then there's a book that comes into the world, and I talk more about this in my episode 4, but I'm just gonna say this. He makes a deal with God of Death that's called Shinigami, named Ryuk. And let's say this book, let's say it ends a lot of people's lives with this book, and they get heart attacks or whatever Light decides to do with this book. And he had, at first, he had really good intentions of, getting rid of criminals, but then it started to kind of make him, okay, instead of just killing killing criminals, I will kill anybody that gets in my way. Like it kind of warps into that. He forgets the whole purpose of why he started this. Actually start this, even though he did say it. Like, he's self-aware of it, but he doesn't care in that moment. And that really does show you that if he really did care, he would have been so aware of, okay, I'm hurting people with this notebook, but at the same time he's like, I don't give a crap, nobody's gonna find me. Like, he really thought he was the crap. He really thought he was gonna achieve it. He didn't care in that moment. He did not care to put his family even at risk, which I'm not gonna spoil a lot on that, but he didn't even care to put one of his family members, his own sibling, his own sister, in danger to get what he wanted. So much for a golden boy. And then he gets a A-list, like a I guess you can say, like a name that people started to call him, which is Kira. Don't get confused with the Colombian singer Shakira. It's just take out the S-H-A and just put Kira. And the people, he didn't choose that name. I'm rewatching, the show. People didn't, he didn't choose that name. People chose it for him. So, Kira wasn't born. Kira was always there. Yeah, Kira was just a name that people started to call him, and he just went along with it. Alright, let's keep going. Segment 2, power, control, and the God complex. Let's talk power and how fast Light gets drunk on it. Once he starts writing names, there's no going back. We'll dig into how the Death Note becomes his mirror, his weapon, and his crown, but also his downfall. From manipulating people like pawns to outsmarting literal geniuses, Light's God complex doesn't just grow, it consumes them. So, Light gets this very inferiority ego. Like, he always thought he was the best, if I'm being honest. I think he always had an ego. It's just the Death Note just woke it up even more. And like, he's that type of guy, when he started to get the Death Note, if he ever were to say, oh Light, I really appreciate you, he would be like, I know, like, what are you talking about? He's such a diva with it. I'm gonna be real. There were a couple times in the show where I was like, he is such a freaking diva. I swear. Like, he's such a diva. Like, it's obvious. It's super obvious, because he's not sassy with it, but you can just tell by his inferiority, his, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Like, you can just tell he just went full blown, almost narcissistic with it. And the Death Note actually really humbled him towards the end of the show, which I know I'm not supposed to laugh at this, but I think, I don't know if it's due to the voice acting, which the voice acting is phenomenal. Even after all these years, the voice acting is phenomenal. But I'm sorry, I just couldn't laugh. I just couldn't stop laughing how dramatic it was. I know it was meant to be sad, but I'm sorry, I laughed. Like, I actually laughed more than I should have. Probably because he killed one of my favorite characters, and I was just feeling petty. Like, I think that's what it is. Anyway, but like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with this character. He, I really wanted to see if he would actually achieve it. And if you guys are wondering, would I ever cosplay Light ever? Yeah, because, we have the same hair color, the same, the same eye color, why not? But just because I can cosplay him does not mean I will forgive him for killing one of my main favorite characters. Even though his intelligence is interesting, and if you guys know me by now, I find psychology, whether in men and women, but mostly more men, really fascinating for some odd reason. I have no idea why, but I do. We'll talk about L, because how can we not? And how their chess match become one of the most electric rivalry in anime history. Spoiler, obsession isn't just a Tsukiyama thing. If you guys have not seen my episode 13, I have it there. It's a light thing too. So real quick, like I said, I talk a lot more about both of them in my episode 4 video, but Light and L are complete opposites. L is like your emo detective, which I've realized from the age of 14, I've always been attracted to emo guys. I don't know why. When I saw L, I was like, what? I think it's awesome. I really think it's awesome, and L became actually, because I was also watching Death Note at the age of 14 as well. I had a huge crush on L. I don't know why. He was just so mysterious. He loved candy, and he was such a cutie pie. He may had sleepy eyes, underbags under his eyes, but he was such a fascinating, adorable character. And I was absolutely heartbroken and upset that Light would do that. I knew he would end L's life. And the thing is that L, I was watching a video, yesterday about that. And it really cleared up that L really knew he was gonna, spoilers ahead here, L really knew his life was gonna end, and he knew that Light was gonna be with it, even though he didn't have proof of it. But it truly does show you that he knew he was gonna end that way, and I was so heartbroken. Oh my gosh, I was so heartbroken. I was so pissed, you guys. I thought I couldn't go forward with the show, but I was stubborn about it. I was like, you know what? I want to see if this dude actually achieves it or not. And the notebook humbled him quickly, and I was so happy about it. You have no idea. Alright, let's keep going. Segment 3. Love, loss, and the cracks in the mask. Light may be cold, but he's not motionless. There are moments, rare but small, where we see the real boy underneath the God complex mask. Yeah, so real quick, even though like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with him, he sometimes gets these moments where, even though he planned it, but it's these moments where if he didn't, it was kind of like, if he didn't find the notebook, like I said, he already had an ego, okay? He already had an ego, but he was kind, sort of, because, in my personal opinion, because, he was, when, I'm just gonna say this, when he, just to prove his innocence, quote unquote, to Al, to his father, that was a detective, ahead of the detective and stuff, he wanted to see, like, okay, what if I lost my memories of the Death Note? What would happen there? And he did. He told Ryuk, the god of death, or the Shinigami, that he would lose his memories. And he does lose, even though, like I said, even though it was planned, he lost the memories. And then that's kind of the tactic that Light kind of uses as manipulations towards not just the characters but towards the audience. And me rewatching this at the age that I am now, it really struck me as a person that loves psychology. This is one of his manipulation tactics. Sure, he may be kind when he wants to be, but this is a manipulation tactic to make you forget, oh, he was a killer. He killed thousands of people, not just criminals. Anybody that got in his way, and that is a manipulation tactic to manipulate his dad, to manipulate El, when in reality, looking at it, El knew all along. He just didn't have evidence. Manipulate, not really his lovers, because he really didn't care about these two women, which is Misa Amane, which is like this actress person that is obsessed. I want to say she fell in love with the Kira persona instead of Light. Even though she says, I love you, Light, blah, 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 blah. But you can tell she kind of worshipped the Kira math, the God complex of it. I don't think maybe she did, but I think she fell in love with more the Kira complex more than I want to say Light in general. Because I don't know, either way this girl was really desperate. She was thirsty. And I'm just saying, I know I thirst over my my anime crushes. I have no guilt in that, but like damn, she went beyond for him. She went far and beyond for this dude, only for him to manipulate her, hurt her feelings, and she took it. She didn't care. If she was kind of those people that she didn't care as long as he didn't leave her alone, because her parents died in a bank, and apparently the Kira persona, killed the criminal that killed her parents. So she was absolutely devoted to him. It was pretty sad. Because you just know that this poor thing with abandonment issues would do anything to just feel seen and wanted to be loved. You can tell she wanted to be loved so much by this I'm just saying, by this dude, this douchebag, if I can so say this, that she really lost her sense of worth. And same goes with this other woman, but she was a little bit more smarter than Misa, a little bit, because hold on, what's her name? Takada. She was the spokesperson. I don't remember. I'm rewatching the series, but I think they went out. I'm not too sure. Anyway, this dude put Takada and Misa to fight over him, which of course he really didn't care about both of them. He only cared about creating the new world. Like, that's all this dude cared about. It wasn't even funny. But also, sometimes, just sometimes, you wonder if he ever felt anything real. In my personal opinion, do I think he fell for either of these women? No. He just knew how to charm. Because I'm gonna say this, if he really cared about these two women, he would have killed the guys that they were with. He would have killed the guys that Misa was with if he did have a little bit of care for her, which was non-existent, really. I was like, damn, dude, you really don't care about these two women at all. He really did not care, really. And when that mask slips, it's terrifying, it's tragic. It's a reminder that geniuses doesn't make you good, it just makes you efficient. So yeah, so real quick, because you guys know I love to put a little bit of inspirational here. Please do not be a Misa or a Takara or even a Light, to be honest. You know, if you really want someone to really care about you, really love yourself, if I'm being honest, because these two women, especially Misa, never cared enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with your bull crap. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to deal with that. No, she put up with it. And as a woman, you know, maybe when I was 14, I really didn't think of it. But as a 14-year-old, you kind of understand where Misa's coming from. But me being the age that I am now, I was like, girl, damn, that's heartbreaking, because she really put up with him. Me being the person I am now, I would have left him if that was me. I would have left his ass crying, to be honest. I'm just saying it because I could not tolerate it being disrespected like that. How Misa tolerated being disrespected by I could not tolerate that now. And for anybody that's staying with a person like that, that's with whom, I'm just gonna be truthful. They're not gonna love you if you keep latching on, being clingy. That's only gonna push these people away and make you realize that being all of them, you have to be, I'm just saying, always be kind, no matter the cost. But you can be a little bit mean about it. You know what I mean? Like don't just let people walk all over you. Set boundaries. Love yourself first. Put yourself in what you love the most. Because I realized something real quick when it came to, you know, love and stuff like that. And that is that, just saying, some men love to chase. And to be honest, I'd rather be the woman that walked away instead of the woman that was heartbroken. During my fair share of times, I've actually have been heartbroken, but I've been more the heartbreaker because now I just can't tolerate being disrespected. And I'm very picky, very, very picky when it comes to real men and anime men, yes, but that is a completely different thing. But when it comes to men in general, I can't tolerate being disrespected, and I will make him cry if I have to. I will make him cry because I can't tolerate that. I cannot tolerate to being disrespected. So to anyone that feels like you have to, whether man, woman, anybody, always remember, if they're pushing you away from your goals, away from the people that actually want the best for you, just remember these people will leave you at the end of the day, will cheat on you, stuff like that. And to people that are, lights, you will get humbled real quick. I'm not gonna say anything more on that. You will get humbled real quick. And, just don't stick with people, whether it's family members, friends, not just relationships, but just family, friends, anybody. Just be careful who you surround yourself with, because you don't let your kind heart tell you that everyone is not gonna hurt you, because unfortunately there are some evil people out there that are in sheep's clothing and you don't even know about it. So please just take care of yourself, love yourself. If you believe in God, put God first in your life. Be very careful on who you trust, because to be honest, trust no one, because you really don't know who's on the good side and who's actually wanting your downfall. So I'm just saying, do not be a Misa, do not be a Takara. If a man disrespects you, or if a woman disrespects you, or anybody disrespects you, do not tolerate that. Do not tolerate that, because loving yourself first will help you understand that you don't deserve that. So I want you guys to know that you guys are appreciated, and please, I know it's easier said than done, but you deserve way better than that. If you truly believe that, if that's how love is, it's not love. It's manipulation. It's love bombing. It's everything under the sun. And if it's making you paranoid, making you insecure, making you feel like you're not worthy enough, they're not worthy of you. They're not worthy of you, and that's on period. All right, let's keep going. Whew, I got really deep into that. Segment 4, final thoughts plus what's next. Light Yagami is a brilliance gone rotten, just as warped by ego. He's the kind of character that makes you question yourself more than him. Would I do what he did? Would you? That's the magic, and that's the horror of Light. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Death Note's most complex narcissist. Next episode, the power is back in your hands. Yes, I want to say thank you guys so much. If you guys want to know a little bit more on Light, even though I did talk about him on this episode, but I talk about him more in my episode 4 video that I also did a versus on with L. And, I do talk a little bit more about the Death Note and stuff like that. I have that episode of 4 up here. Plus, also a playlist if you guys haven't, watched my other episodes. And I also have my socials down in the description below. If you guys want to follow me on my Instagram, I'm right there. I post funny content, fangirl, and just really interesting stuff, and I appreciate your guys' DMs. Also forgot, you guys can also follow me on Spotify if you guys are on the go and just enjoy just listening to me. I hope you do. And I really want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I cannot wait what we talk about next. And yeah, let's see. Until then, stay thoughtful, stay dangerous, and don't write my name in your notebook. Love you all. Bye.